Hello and welcome to my channel, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Lady Calamere, and I am doing let me see, how many videos am I up to? 287th video. And it will be on the Yuki Onna. Who is the Yuki Onna? The Yuki Onna is a Japanese spirit. Some call her a goddess. I'm not sure if she would classify as a goddess. Definitely a spirit, an entity, but regardless, out of respect, maybe she is a goddess. And it comes from this wonderful card, and it deals with stillness. So, and we got an assistant. So let me get the cards. This is Miss Kitty. She's going to teach us all about the Yuki Onna. She knows so much about it. She's an expert. But not an expert being still. So we got this from the Goddess Power Oracle. And it's by Colette Baron Reed. Illustrated by Jenna Della Grottaglia. I hope I'm saying your name right. But the Goddess Power Oracle. And the Oracle card is Stillness, number 52. Beautiful art. Go check it out on Amazon, eBay, local bookstore, your local New Age store, or a cult store. Check it out. If they don't have it, request it, because these are very beautiful cards. So the Yuki Onna, she is the spirit of winter, snow. So her element is definitely snow, ice, and frost. And if you're a heathen, you'll know what I mean by the element of frost and ice and snow. She comes from the land of the ice and snow. That's the immigrant song from Led Zeppelin. I love that song. One of my favorite songs by them. So, she is one of the yokai. Yokai is a type, a classification of spirit. Her translation means snow princess. She's also the snow woman. She's the pale woman. And her habitat, anywhere, like mountain passes, anywhere there's ice and snow and cold. She feeds off the warmth, their life energy, off of living things, especially people. But she can also eat regular food. You can offer her regular food. And she is, let's just say, she doesn't play well with others. However, she can be merciful. She does have the power of mercy, and she does sometimes have a habit of falling in love with mortal men that she finds young and handsome. And she's been known to have children with mortal men. Now, the Yuki Onna is said to have her skin very white, very pale. Sometimes even almost like you can see the veins, or her... Hi. Well, I think Miss Kitty approves of Yuki Onna, but her lips can be like corpse blue, like she's frostbitten. Her skin is cold to the touch. And it says even if you were to grab her hand, she can suck the warmth right out of you. Almost like a vampire, in a way, of sucking the life energy. Like an energy psychic vampire, sucking the life and the warmth out of humans. Her breath, she can breathe her breath, but instead of like Godzilla breathing fire, she breathes like, are you familiar with DC's Killer Frost? Yeah, where she can breathe ice and cold. So I would compare her to Killer Frost, if you're familiar. And then they made her just Frost. You know, Caitlin Snow, who becomes Killer Frost and then Frost. So, but I would say she was more attuned to Killer Frost. Anyway, she works with the snow and the ice. So, there are many different stories about her where, you know, she could be a damn well cold blooded killer. And I like that song, Cold Blooded Killer by A Moment of Violence. I saw them live. They're pretty cool. Cold Blooded Killer. So, anyways, but she's not entirely cold blooded. And like I said, she can fall in love with her intended prey and let them go, or she can later on marry them. But eventually, their husbands discover that as they age, even though she can have children, and even in one case, 10 children, she doesn't age. She doesn't age a bit. She doesn't get gray hair. She doesn't get wrinkles. She doesn't get crow's feet. She doesn't get lines. And 20, 30 years down the line, she's still young because she's immortal. But the revelations of who she is and her identity ends the happy marriage. And usually, if she's married to someone and she has children, she spares their lives anyways. So the Yuki Onna is very beautiful. Always supernaturally beautiful. So, and the Yuki Onna is people say that don't go out at night in the snow, don't go, don't go around traveling. There's a reason why animals are not out, and they warn of a chance encounter with the Yuki Onna. So there is a story in Hirosaki. So in there, it is said that there was once a warrior, I believe a Bushido, or I should say samurai, and he was wandering out in the mountain passes alone in the snowstorm, and it was cold, and he saw a woman almost pale as a ghost holding a child, a baby. Then he remembered exactly who he's dealing with. Now, here's the thing. You see the woman, she's holding a baby. She says, "Hold my baby." And when you hold the baby becomes heavier and heavier and heavier, and you're stuck in the snow. What do? Do you refuse to hold the baby? But she gets mad. You don't want to hold her baby? Fine, she'll knock you right off the mountain. Right down the cliff or whatever. So, in this story, the warrior is asked by the Yuki Onna to hold her child. So the warrior pulls out a short sword called a tanto, and he puts it in his mouth, in which he holds the child, and he holds the blade close to the child's head. Now the child starts to get heavier, but he is strong, and he holds on to this child. Then he hands the child back, Yuki Onna was impressed by the warrior, and that she blessed him. She gives him boons. She gives him many thanks and many treasures. And he had great strength, so she was impressed. So here we see her as not killing him, but rewarding him for his bravery, for his strength, and for his intelligence. There was once another time with a Yuki Onna in the from the Ojiya regions of Nagata. There was once a beautiful woman who came to visit a man in the ice, in the cold, and he later falls in love with this woman. But he, and especially during winters, loved to take long, warm baths, but she would never bathe with him. She would be reluctant to go in the bath. Well, one time it got so cold, he insisted her taking a warm bath lest she freezes to death. So she finally relented, and through his insistent nagging, take a warm bath, you gotta take a warm bath, you're gonna die. Well, he went to check on her. She went into the bath, and all she left were icicles and ice and icicles and frost in the bath. She was gone. And he never saw her again. So there is also another one, or another story, and in the Kaminoyama region of the Yamagata, the Yuki Onna visit this elderly couple, elderly man and woman, and she wanted to warm herself. So later that night, she wanted to go out again. She was happy. They gave her comfort. So they opened her house to her. And these are like sort of like scary ghost stories, aren't they? Like, ooh, you tell by the fireside. But anyway, she wants to go out. The old man begged her. He said, "Don't go out. Don't go out. Don't go out, young lady. You're gonna freeze to death. The Yuki Onna will get you." So she just looked at him, and she was just, "I'm going." He grabs her hand. But when he does that, it's like almost like vampiric, where she took the warmth out of him and sort of like the light, kind of, some of the life force out of him. And the old man noticed that she was ice cold. And right before her eyes, this beautiful woman turned into a whirl and wisp of snow, and just, instead of going out the door, went up through the chimney and went out into the snow. And then the old man realized who they opened their home to, none other than the Yuki Onna. So her time of the year is winter. She loves the night. She loves blizzards. So even during the day when it starts blotting out the sun, she loves blizzards. She loves ice. She loves sleet. She loves hailstones. She loves it all. The cold sound of the whirling winter. The Yuki Onna It's sort of like a snow vampire, I guess. A snowy, icy, cold vampire. I'll get into more stories of the Yuki Onna, but let's talk a little bit about this because I've been 15 minutes of telling about stories and I'm probably losing people. It's like, okay, you're telling the stories, but what about the card? What does it all mean? Stillness. So let's read a little bit. Let me see. Yuki Onna. I'm sorry. I don't. This is Yuki Onna 52 118. So we got it from. Let me get my glasses on. I'm here talking without glasses and no, that's the Yi. Let me see. Okay. Yuki Onna, stillness, empowerment message. The Japanese goddess of winter, Yuki Onna, calls you to a practice of daily meditation and stillness to prepare you for greater productivity and results. So I'm going to get into this. Sometimes we just need to take, this is my words, we just need to take the time for ourselves to calm our minds, to still our mind, to still our thoughts, to take a deep breath from the daily grind and the humdrum of life and take some time for ourselves. Now back to the book. Being open and receptive, slowing down and allowing for time to dream activates your partnership with the universe so you can truly set your intentions and motions. Then, almost without effort, you discover their vibrational match in the world of form. Just as the life force quickly builds within a seed buried under snow, so too will the energy build in the seed of your desires. Before manifesting with no effort on your part, you will find how easy it is to co-create while implementing a practice of stillness and receptivity. So she's telling you to take a rest, take a break, take a breather. That's my own words now. Now let's get back to the book. Let others make the first move at this time as you assess and observe the world around you from the, I need more light, profound position of stillness and neutrality. In this way, the world becomes more intimate, yet you know to take nothing personally. When the goddess Yuki Onna comes to support you, be still. This calls in the miracles. The action now is non-action. So non-action. Don't do it. Halt some things, yield. Take a breather. To be still. Alignment message. Some days you wake up frozen, stuck, and unable to move due to the effects of emotional denial and resistance to what is in front of you. Or maybe you are exhausted, spent from the emotional burden of current situation. The winter goddess Yuki Onna has come to help you move out of the past with this experience into a healthier state of stillness. When you are frozen, it's the ego that is refusing to accept life on life's terms, potentially causing you fear and depression. A particular situation or person may be causing you to see yourself as a victim. The goddess Yuki Onna reminds you that this is but a temporary moment in the millions of moments of your life. The task she has for you is to answer one question. Will you trust the great goddess in the universe to be your active partner in co-creating? If so, slow down and let all your troubles go, and you will see the miracles life has to offer you. So, the Yuki Onna can also be used to freeze a situation, to bind a situation, or to bind a certain someone. She's also good for snow magic, snowstorms. Call upon her in snow. I like the cold. But sometimes the cold can be so biting and so cold. Yes, even northern Florida, we get cold. However, winter solstice is a great time to call upon her. We are like a week or so away from the winter solstice. For the darkest night of the year, this is a great time to honor Yuki Onna. When it snows, you can do ice magic, icicle magic, and snow magic. You can freeze a situation, freeze a person in your life, bind something, bind a particular someone with snow. And you can also use her in, you don't have snow outside, you don't get snow, well, you have a freezer. So I would definitely use the freezer with her, not refrigerator, the freezer. Something that is ice cold. I mean, you can use ice cubes for her and in your spells. Oh, hi, Miss Kitty. So the colors I would use would be like white and also like icy blue. Icy blue, this type of blue color, and white. Perfect. Perfect time to call her is, again, during a snowstorm, winter solstice, and also at night. Those are the perfect time to use this particular energy, this goddess. So she does have a softer size. She sometimes would let her would-be prey go for whatever reason. She lets a young lad go because of his young age, because of his youth, because of his beauty. She lets him go, but makes him swear he will not speak of her. But of course, later in life, he opens his mouth. Sometimes she reviles him, but then spares him. So there was once upon a time. Here's the most famous story about her. Maybe you've heard of this, maybe not. There once upon a time in Japan. There once were two woodcutters. One was old and one was young. One was the master, one was the apprentice. Minokichi and Musaku. Minokichi was the young boy, was a young man, and Musaku was very old. And one horrible winter day, cold, dark winter night, they could not come home because of the snowstorm. And I think it was a ferryman that left, and they were stuck. They were basically screwed. So they found this old hut in the mountain and decided to, create a fire and to sleep there. But then Minokichi woke up and found this beautiful, supernatural, beautiful woman, supernatural beauty with white clothes. That's another thing. She described usually wearing white kimono. So in a white kimono, I should say. And there she was breathing her ice breath all over Musaku. And he was quick frozen. He was ice glazed. Okay? She made him into a popsicle. Then she approached the young man, and she was about to deep freeze him. But she stared at him and says, I was going to kill you. I was going to drain you of your life. Just as I did this old man. But I decided to spare you. You're young and you're beautiful. But I forbid you to ever talk about this incident and what happened. Because if you talk about it, I will come back and I will murder you. The young man was like, oh. And he was like, okay, I promise. Don't hurt me. And so the next day they were rescued. Well, he was rescued, and the body of Minokichi. I'm sorry, Musaku. Musaku was laid to rest. So many years later, or a few years later, Minokichi meets this beautiful young lady. She says her name is Oyuki. Now, of course, Yuki means snow. And she said she had no family. Well, he goes, I have a mother, why don't you come over? Well, she comes over, and she was as polite as possible and sweet as possible. And the mother was sweet on her and said, well, you brought a good lady here. So Minokichi and Oyuki get married. They tie the knot. And they have child after child. 10 children to be exact. Mysteriously, her looks never aged. She never grew wrinkles. She never grew bags or crow feet. She never aged. She didn't even get one strand of gray hair. Well, after along in the winter, this of course happened in the winter. Or I believe it, of course it has to be the winter. Now one night, after they put the children to bed and sleep, Minokichi was studying his wife Oyuki. And he goes, my dear, every time I see you, I am reminded of an incident that happened to me a long time ago when I was young. I met this beautiful young lady like you, but she was no lady. She was, well, let's just say she was the lady who took the life from Musaku. She breathed ice on him, and she went to kill me. But she spared my life. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I wonder if it's a dream. Or if she really was a Yuki Onna. So, after he finished, being a blabbermouth, Oyuki suddenly stood up, looked at him with the icy stare, and Minokichi realized he just goofed up. And she said, I told you never, ever to tell this story to anyone. But you didn't, did you? And I said if you ever did, I would kill you. And then she approached him, and Minokichi, of course, probably peed his pants at this point. And she says, I am the Yuki Onna. However, I won't kill you. I'm sparing you because of our children. You better take care of our children. You better not hurt our children. You better not mistreat them. Or I will come for you. I will show you exactly what and who I am. And I will keep my promise this time. Then she disappeared. She melted, like she wisp of snow, and then some of her melt. And he never saw her again. Did he tell the story of her again and blabbed his mouth? I don't know. Maybe one of the kids overheard it. I don't know, but that's how the story is. Icy ghost stories. So we see her. She, by all rights, she could have killed him. But she kept, again, she decided to spare him because of her love of her children. So she has so it's like the intermarriages, and she has children, human children. Now this is the only image I had of the Yuki Onna, and I'm really glad I got this this oracle deck again. Goddess Power Oracle. Check it out. Beautiful cards. Really beautiful. And it's a matte finish. And look at the back. Good card stock. Not too small, but definitely not extremely big. So it's really done beautifully and really done very well. I recommend it. I think it's really nice. So how do you feel about this? When we're in the winter, is my favorite season since I've lived in the South is winter. I used to love the autumn the best and spring when I lived up in North, but now it's like I really appreciate the winter. And here we have the card dealing with stillness, where things go into hibernation, where we stay home, we stay huddled together, and well, not now, but we have the heaters on, we have our fires on, we like to get under the blankets and keep warm and snug. It's time for snuggling. It's but during the winter, a lot of sickness goes around because of that. Of being huddled together, and we're passing our cootie germs to each other and getting us sick. Getting each other sick, so when we're huddling around, you'll catch your death of cold out there. Freeze. So we can honor her at this time, especially where it's very cold, and honor her with snow. We can offer her things, sweets, and like I said, she eats regular food. We can give her fresh water. We can give her. You can give her like the winter things that you associate with winter. We can offer her things that we like to drink in the winter. That maybe a latte, one of the nice cold ones. Stuff they sell at Starbucks. And we can offer her, Santa Claus candy, things dealing with the Yuletide or Christmas or the winter solstice. We can offer her that fruited bread. We can offer her sugar plums and fruit, offering of fruit. And especially if we have to go out. Sometimes she does help. Sometimes she has been known to help those who wandered off and got lost to find their way. Sometimes she shows mercy that way. So when you're lost alone in the cold, you're at the mercy of nature and the spirits out there. So sometimes they can just decide, hey, let me do something nice. She also represents us when we get cold-hearted, when our feelings have been hurt, when we feel cold. And even though we want to do something nasty and mean and horrible, we can be nice. You're having a bad day. And you go up to your cat. And when you're angry, you go up to your cat and you hold your cat and you hug your cat and you snuggle the cat and you're doing something nice. Even if you're having a bad day, you give a cat. You could have the worst day in your life and cry and say, I hate this world of man, a sickening bad sin, I have some possessed, like a devil at black mass. And we could feel like we hate this whole damn world. But we can show an act of kindness. Feed a stray animal. Say hello to someone. Oh, I like your coat. or, drop some money into a donation bucket or box, whatever have you. So maybe you bought a box of cookies and you're outside of Walmart and you see one of the people with the Salvation Army bucket. Maybe offer them a cookie or something to drink. And I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I'm really not. I'm just, trying to spread a little kindness, because it doesn't really cost anything to really be kind. Even when you feel cold-hearted. Even when you feel iced over. So yeah, she does deal with death. She is a death bringer. She is a death dealer. But even then, she has an act of mercy or kindness. Even she can show an act of love. Well, Miss Kitty, are you becoming the ice cat? She just nipped me. Get over here, Miss Kitty. Are you having a bad day? Come on. Come on, Miss Kitty. You're famous now. Yeah, come on up. Come on, I love you. Come on, I know you're just being a feisty little one. Come on. So, anyways, I really hope you like this presentation. I'm trying to think anything else about her. Definitely, I like you can honor her on the full moon. Hey, the snow moon. The full moon, dark moon is also a good time for her. Darkest night of the year is approaching. So anyways, I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send some good energy my way, send some good energy towards Miss Kitty, Lady Boss, Sir Mew Mew, and Loki Lofison, and the Joker, and Charlie O'Barley, and all the other cats, Max, and Lord Maximus, and all the cats. Send some good energy. Share my video with your friends and family. Now is a time to, help people out. The world has gone crazy. The world has lost its mind. But we can still be kind. We can still love. So send some energy towards my cats. It's a time. Send some good prosperity my way and good luck. And anyways, thank you so much. As always, blessed be.